Hello everyone, welcome to Understanding Physics. It's me Sunita Mahajan. Today I'm going to explain some more foundation concepts in physics for the topic measurement for 5th class students. Okay, what are the subtopics names? Just I have written on the board. Let us have a glance on the topic. That is systems of measurement. And the next topic is characteristics of standard units. And the third topic name is subtopic name is SI system, that is international system. Before going to explain this topic, let us have a recapitulation of our previous class. In my previous class, I explained for all of you about body science and what are the branches of science, and what is measurement and how it plays a major role in our regular life, what are fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities, and what are fundamental units and derived units. These all concepts we discussed in our last class. I hope you all understood well. And this time I'm going to give one worksheet related to the previous class and present class, whatever I'm going to teach you now. So please try to answer that one. In my description box, it's available for you, and some points also related to this concept. I'm going to give that points also. You can note down that points and you can revise that points for answering that worksheet. It will be helpful for you. If you're answering that worksheet, then it will be more useful for you to understand the next class also. Okay, now let us discuss the first subtopic, that is systems of measurement. You may think, what is the need of these systems of measurement? How it is useful in our real life? How it is useful in our regular life, real life? See, what is the need of these systems of measurement? In ancient days, these systems of measurement is there? No, there is no system of measurement. And how the people used to measure the things, do you know? So let us have a brief explanation first of all before going to discuss these systems of measurement. Later, I'll be explaining about this one. In ancient days, the people are not having any types of systems of measurement. At that time, they used to follow for measuring the length, their body parts, and for measuring the mass, some different stones. They used to collect the different sizes of stones for measuring the mass. And for measuring the time, they used to follow the sunlight shadows for measuring the time. So you may get doubt how they'll be using by measuring body parts the length. So they are habituated to use the hand span, the length from here to thumb finger to little finger, and the measure they used to measure the cubit length, that is tip of the finger to the elbow. This one will be saying it is a cubit length. And one more thing, that is foot length. So this what happens, this will be not at all giving the accurate measurements. It will be varying from person to person. Suppose a person is tall, you'll be getting more length. And suppose if a person is short, you'll be getting very less length. Is not at all, we cannot consider these are accurate measurements. But at that time, there is no system of measurements. There are no proper instruments to measure the things. That's why the people are habituated to follow that one. And for measuring mass, they used to collect the different sizes of stones, and that is also, it's not at all completely correct measurement, but they followed that one. And for measuring time, sunlight shadows, just now I said for all of you. But what happened, these sunlight shadows for measuring time in summer season, whenever during the daytime it is possible, but during the night time, how can we measure the time? It's not at all possible. That is the main drawback. And one more thing, in rainy season, you are not going to get the sunlight, proper sunlight, due to cloudy nature. That is also one drawback. At that time also we cannot measure the time. And in winter seasons, you know very well, in early morning you are not going to get the sunlight. So at that time also we cannot be able to measure the time. So what happened? They want to, due to the development of science and technology, they introduced different types of systems of measurement. In the types of systems of measurement, we can measure the length, we can measure the mass, and we can measure the time. Okay, now let us have a glance on the table. I draw the table on the board. I'm going to explain the table, each and every part in that one. Okay. Now we are having three types of systems of measurement. The first system is FPS system. I have written the first letter of that word. So that's why in a short form we can say it as an FPS system. Okay, now coming for the second type of system, that is CGS system. The second system is CGS system. Okay, now coming for the third system, that is MKS system. Okay, now you may get doubt, what is this FPS, what is this CGS, and what is this MKS? Whatever the fundamental physical quantities are there. In our last class we discussed, no? Can you able to recollect that one? The fundamental physical quantities are length, mass, and time. So they are going to take that one only, the basic units of dimensions. So whatever these systems of measurement, they are going to take the length, mass, and time as the basic units of dimensions. So in this system, F stands for foot. So this foot they'll be using for measuring the length. Okay, now coming for the next letter, that is P. So P stands for what? Pound. So by using the pound, they can measure the mass. Okay, now coming for the third letter, that is S. S stands for second. So by using this second, they can measure the time. Okay, now coming for the second type of system, what is that system is CGS system. C stands for centimeter, G stands for gram, and S stands for second. Okay, now by using this centimeter, what can we measure? We can measure the length. Okay, by using this gram, what can we measure? Mass. By using second, time. Okay, now coming for the third type of system, that is MKS system. In this MKS system, M stands for meter, we can measure the length. K stands for kilogram, we can measure the mass. And S stands for second, we can measure the time. The people in different places, according to their comfortability and convenience, they used to follow the different types of systems. One more comfortability and convenience is there. We can convert from one system to another system. So that facility we are having, that availability is there. So the people were, suppose I'm staying in Hyderabad, someone is staying in other country. In other country, suppose if they're following the FPS system, here we are following MKS system. I can convert this MKS system to FPS system. And suppose if the people are coming from other country to Hyderabad, they can convert that FPS system to MKS system. So this conversion availability convenience is there. But this MKS system, in which year it was introduced? It was introduced in 1791 by France people. This what is adopted by France people in 1791 year. And this CGS system, we can measure the smaller lens. We cannot measure the long, that is long lens, means bigger lens we cannot able to measure. CGS system, it will be used for measuring the smaller quantities. Okay, now coming for what happened, whatever these types of systems are habituated, but at the time what they thought, why we have to use these different types of systems? Why can't we adopt only one type of system? So in 1960, what happened? The General Conference of Weights and Measurements, they adopted one system, that is international system. So that international system, we can say it as in the short form as SI system. So this SI system is also called as international system. Means short form will be saying it as an SI. The full form is international system. So before going to explain international system, I want to give some information and explanation about the characteristics of standard units. In our last class, we discussed about physical quantity. A quantity that can be measured is called a physical quantity. How can we measure a physical quantity? So we are when we are measuring, what happens? How can we measure a physical quantity? Means last time I said you. Suppose this is the marker. So this is a scale. I am having one scale here. I am having one scale. So what I'll do? I want to measure this unknown quantity with the known standard quantity, known constant standard quantity, we can say. So this is the known constant standard quantity, this scale. So when I'm going to measure, what happens? See here centimeters is there. So I want to measure the marker. So now the marker is, it is 13 centimeter. So whatever that 13 is a numerical value. And whatever this is centimeter is there, no, this is a unit. So for physical quantity, you may get doubt. Whatever the quantities are there, if you are measuring, it is a physical quantity. In last class we discussed. So how can we differentiate the quantities and the physical quantities? Any quantity, if it is having some numerical value, and along with that numerical value, if any standard unit is there, then we can decide, then we can confirm that one, it is a physical quantity. So you have to remember that for every physical quantity, compulsory it will be having one numerical value, means number. Numerical value means here what? Number. And along with that numerical value, it will be having a unit. Either it may be meter, kilometer, centimeter, millimeter, decimeter, meter, whatever it may be. Some unit it will be having. So if it is having a unit, along with that one numerical value, then we can say that one as a physical quantity. So whatever the units we are using, that all are standard units only. Means whatever the known constant quantity, that is a standard quantity. So these standard quantity, it is having some special characteristics. So what are the special characteristics? Especially you should know. Due to that only we can able to say that one, these are accurate values. these are not at all going to change. These are perfect values, scientifically proved values, tested, verified values. So like this, we can confirm that one. So that's why I want to explain some characteristics of standard units. What are the characteristics? Means we are having four characteristics for that standard units. What are the four characteristics? Is the first one is whatever the instrument which we are using. Suppose this scale is there. This scale is one type of common instrument we'll be using in our schools and even at homes also. Especially the children, they'll be using in their they'll be maintaining in their compass box this scale. So these whatever this is there, this is in moderate size, means medium size, and it will be conveniently used by everyone. Means whoever they want to use, they can able to use this one. So that is the first characteristics. Is it medium size or not? If it is it is conveniently we can use it or not. So this is the first characteristic. This is the first characteristic of the standard unit. Now coming for the second characteristic, suppose I measured the length of the marker is 13 centimeter. I went to Mumbai, so there also I measured the length. There also it is the same value. So the time and space I measured here during the afternoon time. When I went to Mumbai, I measured in the morning time. So with the time and space, it is going to change its value. It's not at all going to change its value. It's the values are same only. So with the time and space, the values is not going to change. Means the values is not at all changing. So that is the second characteristic. Now coming for the third characteristic, what is that third characteristic? Whatever the quantities are there you are measuring, without any doubt, accurately you can say that is 13 centimeters only. Now I measured the length of the marker, 13 centimeter. Without any doubt, I'm telling you, it is 13 centimeter. Perfect, it is 13 centimeter. So without any doubt, we can able to measure. Now the fourth characteristic, what is that fourth characteristic? That is, it is not at all perishable. Perishable means not at all going to damage, not at all going to spoil, or not at all going to evaporate. Whatever the weather conditions is there. So these are the four main important characteristics of the standard unit. So these four characteristics and some points, whatever we discussed in last class and even in this class, I'm going to give the notes for that one in the description box. Please check in the description box. By that way you can able to follow each and everything. And even you can able to answer that worksheet also. Okay, now coming for the third topic, that is SI system, that is international system. In which year it is introduced? International system 1916. So before going to draw the table of that international system, I want to explain some points about that international system. What are the points of that international system is there? In that international system, we are having 7 fundamental physical quantities and 2 supplementary quantities. So what are the supplementary quantities are they? What are they? I'm going to explain for you in 6th standard IIT foundation classes, that is understanding physics and understanding physics. But in this 5th standard, I'm going to introduce for you only the 7 fundamental physical quantities, whatever is there. So whatever the first 3 fundamental physical quantities we learned up to now, that is the length, mass and the time, they are like that only. But what are the other 4? The other 4 are, they are that is temperature, current, and amount of substance, luminous intensity. So these other 4 physical quantities, we'll be saying it as fundamental physical quantities in SI system. Okay, let me draw the table. By that way, you'll be understanding clearly. So in this table, 4 things you have to remember. What are that 4 things is here? Physical quantity. Physical quantity. So how many physical quantities are there in SI system? Just now I said that 7 physical quantities we are having. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now you should know the symbol of that physical quantity also. So here, symbol of physical quantity. Now for this physical quantity, unit will be there, no standard unit. That one I'm writing here, unit. Okay. Now for this unit also symbol will be there. So symbol of the unit. So these 4 you have to remember and you have to follow. Okay, now the first physical quantity you know very well. What are the first basic fundamental physical quantities? In our last class and even in this class also, in the systems of measurement, we already discussed that one. That is the length. The second one is mass. And the third one is time. And the fourth one, you know that one, temperature, current, luminous intensity, and the seventh one is amount of substance. But commonly we'll be using only six. This amount of substance, especially it will be useful for in chemistry. Amount of substance, they'll be measuring the number of molecules, how many molecules are there. For that purpose, it will be using. In physics, mostly will be using the six only. That is the length, mass, time, temperature, current, luminous intensity. Why they introduced the other four means these other four also throughout the worldwide it will be useful for us for measuring these physical quantities. For that purpose, they introduced the other four physical quantities. So, you know very well what is the symbol for length? L. What is the symbol for mass? M. What is the symbol for time? Time symbol is T. Okay, temperature, T. Current, small I. Luminous intensity. You may get out what is luminous intensity. It is the brightness of light. Luminous means glowing objects. Intensity means brightness. Okay. Luminous intensity, we'll be writing it as capital I. And amount of substance as N. So this is the symbols for which one? For the physical quantities. I'm going to explain once again. I'm going to repeat once again. Please try to follow. We are having 7 fundamental physical quantities in which system? In SI system. This complete system table is SI system table. So this system is SI system table. Okay. Now the first physical quantity is length. The symbol is for the physical quantity small l. Mass means small m. Time means small t. Temperature means capital T. Current means small I. We can measure the current. Even with this throughout worldwide we can measure. So luminous intensity means I. Amount of substance means M. Okay, now length. Actually the SI unit of length is what? Meter. And the symbol you can write it as small m. And the SI unit of mass what? Kilogram. So kg. The symbol is kg. Okay, now time. What is the SI unit of time? Second. Yes. Temperature. So Kelvin. It is a scientist name. So whenever we want to give respect to the scientist, at that time they said that we will give the SI unit. We will be saying the SI unit by that scientist name only. That's why I have written here Kelvin. So K. Scientist name. If you want to write the symbol, you have to write with capital letters only. Now current. Current it was. This is also scientist name only. Ampere. So capital A. Luminous intensity, candela. So this one CD. Now amount of substance, mole. Symbol is MOL. So these are the 7 fundamental physical quantities. And that for 7 fundamental physical quantities, these are the symbol for that one physical quantities, and these are the units, and the symbol for that unit is these. Okay, now related to this one, I want to ask some general questions to you. So related to that, in the description box, you can able to find out that worksheet. You can able to answer. If you are able to answer all the questions in the worksheet, that shows your concentration and dedication levels about the foundation physics. Those whoever is able to answer each and everything, you know, I can give assurance that they are following an excellent manner. If they follow like this, whenever they go to higher classes, it will be easy for them to crack any competitive exam. So please try to follow all these things. And in my next class, I'm going to explain some more concepts. And have a nice day.